As a software developer, you should have heard already of tools like GitHub Copilot, which bring AI into your daily coding work. Amazon Q Developer is one more generative AI-powered coding assistant, which does similar things like GitHub Copilot, Codium, or Tab9. In this video, I want to show you Amazon Q Developer in action. So let's jump directly to my IDE, IntelliJ, and see how Amazon Q Developer works. I prepared a simple Spring Boot project which has a REST controller for a products endpoint so that you can read a product, create a product, update a product, or delete a product. So it's a CRUD API. But there is one missing method to read all products. We have here just a method to read a single product, and now I want to see if I can read all products. And therefore I just do coding. So I go to the next line. I write one more comment to explain what I want, get end. And now you see Amazon Q is already jumping in. You see here it makes a suggestion and I can insert the whole code. I can look to different AI generated code suggestions, but right now there is just one. So I can take it by pressing tab, or I can continue typing and see if I get something else. So I take this now by pressing tab, and I have already a first implementation for this method to find all products. It's using a product repository, as it is the case here in this get method. So that fits pretty good so far. But let's make this example a little bit more complicated and change the comment to get endpoint to retrieve all products filtered by. Let's have a look on which filters I can use for product. Yeah, a product has an ID, a name, a category, a price, attributes. I want to filter by name in this example. So I go back here and say filtered by. Let's see if Amazon Q has an idea. No, it has not. So I say filtered by name. Then I delete this code which was generated before and try it again. And you see Amazon Q is now making a new suggestion which has an additional request parameter name, and it's checking this. So I will take this by pressing tab because that looks good so far. We have a first issue. The find by name method does not exist in the product repository. So I have to create it using the IDE. Yeah, you see I clicked now on create this method and the IDE automatically created it for me. So let's get back to the product controller and continue typing something else. I continue private Boolean. I get now some kind of code suggestion. Is product valid for creation? Based on private Boolean, it has probably no clue what I want to do, but why does it come up with this code suggestion? If we look into the rest of this file, we see here there are two private Boolean methods which are checking this, and Amazon Q, since it has no other clue what I want to do, it makes just this suggestion based on what it sees in this class. So that's not helpful, but let's continue typing. What I want is German word. I want to validate if the name is a German word, and only in that case I want to filter by name. And now I get a code suggestion from Amazon Q. Yeah, it took a moment, but it suggests now to use word as a parameter and then use a regular expression. And that looks okay. So I will take it. Unfortunately, it forgot one German special character. This one. but okay, yeah, that's just for your information. The rest of the letters looks at least good. And what can I else do? I could do first a null check. So I start typing if, and then it directly suggests that I want to do a null check. And now we have also two suggestions, so I can flip through and it checks for null or for empty, and then it returns false. I will just take the simple null check. Okay, so now we have this in place, and now let's delete again this method and see what happens now, since it sees that I might want to use this regular expression for validation. This time we get more code suggestions, so let's flip through it. Yeah, but it's not using the is German word, so I continue describing it in the comment. Retrieve all products filtered by name. Validate name to be a German word. And let's see what I get now. I get now a code suggestion which looks okay if name is null. No, that makes no sense what I got suggested here. Let's see what else it has for me. It changed just the signature of the method. Let's rephrase it. Filtered by name. Make sure only German words are accepted. Let's try it like this. Okay, unfortunately it doesn't get what I want, so I will take this code now and change it a bit by hand. So let's say here not null, and yeah, here we go now. So that's what I wanted as a code, and otherwise we do find all. Okay, so that's okay as an implementation. I will take this for now and move on with the next example. In this project from my Udemy course about using AI for coding, I have also this bug prepared. If you are interested in the Udemy course, check out the link in the description. But for now, we have a look in this method, and we see the compiler is already complaining at two places because here we have some bug. And the bug is also pretty simple. The idea is to update a product and to update it only if the ID is not null, the new product is not null, and the new product is valid for creation. And I already said and because it has to be and connected. Unfortunately, here a logical OR is used. So that is a bug, and let's see what Amazon Q can do about it. You can mark code, right mouse button, then go for Amazon Q in the context menu, and here we have some options like explaining code, refactoring code, fix code, optimize code, or send to prompt. We will see the chat a little bit later. So for now we do fix code. On the right side, the chat window opens and I get a response about the code and what could be wrong and how to fix it. So let's check this. First, we get an explanation about the code, which we didn't ask for, but okay. Here we have the issue around the bug. The if condition is wrong. Yeah, it says use logical AND. Okay, that's the first issue. And then there is a hidden second issue. And it also found this, yeah. Instead of using get on an optional, we should use or else throw to throw a product not found exception. And yeah, that is exactly what we need. Let's check this in the code by scrolling here to the right side. And here we see it. Yeah, here we get back an optional. Find by ID returns an optional. And if I directly call get, in case that the ID that did not exist in our database, we would have a no such element exception, and it suggests to use a specific exception to have here like an controlled exception handling, which is a good idea, yeah, because that's a case which can happen very often, that we have an ID which we do not find in the database, and then we have like a not found problem. Okay, last thing, it's again about the Amazon Q chat. The Amazon Q chat open and bigger in size so that you can see it. I want to use the chat now to ask specific question about AWS services. And my question is how to convert this Spring Boot application into an AWS Lambda service, which can run serverless in the AWS cloud. And I will give also access to all files in my workspace by using the add workspace prefix, which gives access to the whole workspace, and instead of giving access to the chat just for the opened files in the current tabs. So let's see what this question gives us as an answer. Amazon Q is now generating an answer, and it's informing me that I should use special dependencies to support the Lambda services. It's informing me about using a Lambda handler, which is some kind of entry point into the functionality to be written like this. I will link in the description a blog article about how to write Lambda services with Spring Boot so that you can compare it with the response if you like. And then we get here some more other things to consider and to take care. We get also a reference to the documentation of Amazon Web Services about creating those Lambda services also with Spring. So that's very nice. And from my point of view, that is really the special thing about Amazon Q. The code completion was okay. The chat before about fixing the bug was okay. It's comparable to GitHub Copilot or to other competitors, but probably the USP of Amazon Q Developer is that it knows probably best about AWS and the services. And many developers are working in AWS clouds and have to use the services. So it might be pretty helpful to have an Amazon Q chat giving me special advice about what to consider and care if I use the AWS service. Of course, other code completion and AI assistant chat tools might know this also, but here in this particular case, I would trust that the AI tool from Amazon knows best about the products of Amazon, and that's why the chat in context of AWS is for me a unique selling point and a good argument to use Amazon Q. So if you liked this video, please don't forget to give me a thumb up. And if you are interested in more content like this, please subscribe to my channel. See you next time.